Well, it's been 8 days since the election was held, and across the country, dazed college students are finally emerging from their safe zones into the glare of daylight with bullhorns and signs in their hands. At least 80 colleges are now staging anti-Trump protests or walkouts. One of them is at Rutgers, that's the State University of New Jersey. And joining us now, one of the protesters, organizers, Rutgers students, Alex Uematsu. Alex, it's great to see you tonight. So since you're in college and you're thinking of the big things, the big ideas here, you're upset that there are undocumented students, as you say, on your campus, and you don't think President-elect Trump is sympathetic enough to them. So let's sort of pull back a little bit. Who do you think has a right to come to this country? You apparently assume that these people have a right to be on your campus taking a state-subsidized education. Who has a right to come to the United States?
I believe that everyone should be able to come to the United States. We are always and have been and are still a nation of immigrants. And so I believe that, you know, there is no line. We can let in as many people as we choose in terms of policy. And it's, you know, there's artificial limits set on who can come in, who can't, from what countries and from what countries can't,
right,
whether they're skilled or not. And I feel like that is abandoning our heritage as a nation of immigrants.
So anybody who wants to come should come. Now, most of those people who do come, the low-skilled ones, are a net cost to taxpayers. They take more in services than they produce. You know the supply and you know the basic economic laws. So you believe then that taxpayers have a moral obligation to subsidize anybody who wants to come here?
I'm not sure where you're getting those figures from. I've heard different figures.
Okay.
I've heard studies that say that undocumented immigrants actually provide a net benefit to the economy.
Okay.
And a lot of these studies that claim that undocumented immigrants are a drain or, you know, taking money away from taxpayers or something like that are using kind of biased
Well, you heard wrong, because
like
it's not even close between education and infrastructure and health care, food subsidies, housing subsidies. It's literally not even close. Mm-hmm. But the point is, do you consider the effect this has on the rest of the population? You say anybody around the world has a right to come here. You learned that in school and you believe it uncritically. Do you think that everyone else who lives in this country has a right to say, wait a second, we should be able to choose who comes here?
So we shouldn't forget that we're talking about a president-elect
right,
that has pledged to deport 11 million people from this country. And so that's what I would like to keep the focus on, is the tremendous human rights violation that would entail. A deportation force rounding up people who are undocumented, people who have been here for their entire lives, almost. People, you know, we had a person at our rally today who was, you know, who was brought here at 3 months old. And he's, you know, he's undocumented, but he's an American. He deserves to be here. And you know, I
get it. No, I've heard it before. Alex, do you think people have a right to lock their doors? Or do you think they have an obligation to let anyone in who chooses to come? Well, you're saying that the United States has no right to prevent people who want to come here from coming here. And I'm just asking you, does the same apply to us as individuals? Do you have a right to keep people out who want to share your apartment with you?
I think that's not really a direct analogy. That obviously a nation state, a sovereign nation state, is very different from an individual.
Well, it belongs to its citizens, so they should be able to decide who comes in or out. Wouldn't you agree? Doesn't the country belong to its citizens?
I think that there are certain things.
I think you need to think this through, Alex.
Slavery was a democratic.
Right. Okay. Throw the slavery thing in there.
Was a democratic.
Let me just ask you this. I know that you're a liberal, a radical, lefty. I wonder if it ever occurs to you that you're maybe doing the bidding of business when you advocate for low-skilled workers to come here. Why do you think people support a lot of low-skilled labor in this country? Because it lowers wages. It lowers their labor costs. It makes them more money. Do you realize that you're part of that?
So the Cosecha movement, which I'm a part of, is a movement fighting for permanent protection, dignity, and respect for all immigrants in the United States. It would be absurd to suggest that we're pro-corporate or we're somehow helping corporations when our strategy is a massive boycott of key industries, as well as a general strike led by undocumented immigrants, just, you know, regular immigrants and also allies.
Well, then it may surprise you to know that they're fully on your side with bringing the low-wage labor thing, because it benefits them too. So think about that overnight, Alex. It's great to see you. Thanks a lot for coming on.
What we care about is permanent protection, dignity, and respect.
Right.
Thank you.
I'm for that too. Thanks.
Why don't you wake up and smell what you shoveling?